As businessmen and as economists and as analysts, let's talk about the elections, not in terms of the election exercise per se, but looking forward, the new batch of legislators that we will have, the new batch of policymakers, what economic or business agendas and issues would you like candidates to discuss in the coming months?
I, I mean, the the 10 socioeconomic silo of the present government. Okay? Uh, just follow that and put substance to it. Okay? We have to flesh it. Like ease of doing business. Okay? I think that's very important. Okay?
But we have a law already. Doesn't that put flesh into it?
We don't have the IRR. Wala pa. So we need the involvement of, especially we on our chamber side, we want to air, what are the things of concern. Some are at the local level, some are at the national level. Okay? I'd like the politicians to really talk about our country. Philippine Inc. We are now under the radar. Okay? We lost a bit of steam, but with the new, they're both young, old.
Very old.
Yeah. Okay, I know who you're referring to. Okay,
Centenarian.
okay, I know who you're referring to. But anyway, but they are personality of wisdom. So let's give it some weight.
Yeah.
Having said that, the thing is, we really like them to, all of us to think as one. I always tell the politicians, I said, to be honest, we're in the same boat. Okay, no matter what, you are. The government is a shareholder of my company. Every time I make money, you take 30% away. You're 30% shareholder. So you would hope that you provide the landscape where it's attractive. Like when I was with the president in Israel, and the Israelis were very happy to hear the president. And the president usually tells them that, we're open for business. We mean business. But even if you encounter any problem that is unnecessary, come to me. I mean, he openly says that, of course. Going through, of course, you have to go through a channel. But, that is for people who are just starting to do business, like Israel. We've not really done a lot of commerce and trade. They feel that parang assurance na, if this is the way the country is moving, we would like to seriously look into the Philippines.
Well, I'm hoping that the upcoming brand of politicians and who will get elected would pick up an economic platform that really makes sense. In other words, while we are part of the global value chain right now, we are limited to assembling and providing cheap raw materials. I think we cannot deny that the economy will have to continue in a globalized manner, but I hope that our politicians will start thinking, how can we elevate the level of our participation in the global value chain so that we can offer the value chain, the world market, something that is competitive. Right now, companies are setting up shop here, and we welcome them, but the ultimate interest that they serve would be the companies who are setting up shop here. But I thought that perhaps the businesses, I think, this is something that they're looking for the government to provide the platform that will make our businesses offer something competitive to the world market, not just assembling. For example, right now, fintech is a major buzzword. This is something I think the Filipinos can come in a big way. Our circuit design engineers are being employed in the Silicon Valley. They are working in Wall Street. I hope that the government can see the opportunity for keeping them here and offer something to the world market that will be set up here, competitive, not just, what we're doing now, we're serving as their encoders. We're serving as their programmers. Why don't we set up shop here so that we will provide the economic or business information that is required now in the world market? and make it here. That's one. Number two, I hope they also take seriously that what happened this year is a demonstration that there was a lack of foresight in our food supply management. Why are we only importing now that the shortage is here? That's the worst time to import. You will be importing at the highest price because that should have been part of your food supply management plan from last year. You know that we are visited by typhoons, about 22 typhoons a year, and they're coming in a very devastating way. So we should allow for that. We should allow for how much domestic production can provide in our food supply and how much should we import in a planned manner, not as a knee-jerk reaction to the current crisis. And perhaps the objective should be to maintain the level of supply at the level of pricing that will be affordable to our people.
And the market.
Well, short term, I'd like to see how they're going to, again, address the inflation issue. Hopefully, it's not so big. So that's the short term, because you want to get, in looking at the business perspective, you want to see the ease of doing business much more improved in the short term. Now, long term, I think I want to see, again, why did inflation happen? What was the point of all this exercise? Because we were trying to raise revenue, because they wanted to promote the infrastructure spending. So long term, I'd want to see from, I guess, when we, before we cast our votes, what these legislators plan to do to facilitate this build that they've been talking about when it's almost going to be, 3 years into the Duterte administration. For the additional taxes that we're supposed to be spending, we were promised that we'd get, better roads, a subway, a final say to the airport. Because what I'm spending for my taxes, I'm hoping to get improved productivity in terms of the ease of doing business. And again, this would cause a multiplier effect, right? So hopefully, that's what I want to see for both the short term and the long term.